And we're live. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to On the Block with Jen. Today I got a special guest.
What's up, everybody?
My womb creation. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to... Yes, I called her my womb creation. What my womb created. My daughter, Kitty Brigante.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing?
So today, I get right to it on the block with Jen. And just to take care of a little bit of business, y'all know how this works. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. It's On the Block with Jen on all of the above. On the Block with Jen, spelled out just like that. Hit the little bell and the subscribe button on YouTube. Y'all know how this works, okay? All right, so we're going to get right into it. Today's topic is 50 Cent's outrageous controversial remarks on his dating preferences. And I wanted to talk a little bit about dating and preferences. And so I needed, my baby girl here to help me out because I have my own opinion and my own theory on things, right? But I'm not always right. Most of the time I'm right, but I'm not always right? Okay, so we're going to get right into this. So 50 Cent was on the Young Money, is it the Young Money podcast or is it Lil Wayne's podcast?
Lil Wayne's podcast.
Okay, so 50 Cent was on Lil Wayne's podcast and basically got into his preferences and his preferences being exotic. Now, we all know that's a trigger topic. We all know that, right? Because for some strange reason, what celebrities like or don't like or what they opine on, for some reason, just cuts deep with the general public. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because, you being a fan of someone, you feel like, oh, they need to like what you like. I'm not familiar with the logic. I don't get it. I never thought that just because I like someone's album or their film that they're supposed to like anything that I like or like me or my type, right? I don't know about that. So let's get into exactly verbatim the quote, right? Because there are a lot of things going on online right now. What he said, what he didn't say, what people thought he said, people's interpretations. But let's get right into exactly what he said. Not what you think he said, but exactly what 50 Cent said. Okay, I'm going to read it off. And I actually watched the podcast. Did you watch it yet?
No.
Okay, so I actually watched the podcast. And 50 Cent, while through laughter, because text is black and white, but you know how 50 talks. He was saying this through laughter. He says, they get mad. They get angry. You see a lot of sisters go, you fuck with that kind of girl and that kind of girl. That shit is, and he said, that shit is exotic. Right? That should look like a lot of different than the shit you see in the neighborhood all the time. That should look like it came off a boat, right? So that basically he's talking about what he likes. So what the internet did, which is what they always do, they took this story and made a headline that's clickbait. And as you know, a lot of people are not only sensitive, but hypersensitive. Right? So what they did was they spread this all over social media and they said 50 calls black women angry black women. And 50 said anything that's not black is exotic, right? So you know how the headlines do on social media. So now I'm seeing threads and threads and threads of black women really, really upset and bashing 50. So my thing is, I titled this, is 50 Cent's dating preferences self-hate? Or is it a self-esteem problem on you, right? So what do you think? Kitty?
I think people need to date people who like them. And that's it. Date people who like you. I never understood the whole outrage about a man or a woman speaking on what their dating preference is, especially when a lot of the times these are people you wouldn't date anyway. So it's like, why do you want people to like what they don't like so bad? Why? Like, these are not people that you have to wake up to or go to sleep to. But it's like people want others to make them feel comfortable. So in my humble opinion, just date people who like you. Because when you date people who like you, you don't have these type of problems. You're not worrying about who wouldn't date you or who wouldn't date anyone who looks like you. And that's just my opinion. Like, I don't get into the outrage or anything like that.
So I think, well, I mean, that's a great point, because I think that why are you interested in what someone prefers who you're not going to date and who doesn't want to date you? Like, it's very important to me, right, to worry about who I like and if they're going to like me back, right? But they don't have to, and vice versa. That's real life. But then there's this celebrity-driven world that we're in, and we know that America is a very celebrity-driven world. Like, people live and die by what celebrities say and do. So when 50 says something like this, people feel attacked. But in my opinion, if your self-esteem is intact, then you shouldn't feel attacked. And that's across the board. I don't care what, I mean, and men in general, aside from 50, men are on social media talking about preferences all day long. Women are on social media talking about preferences all day long. He got to be over 6 feet tall. He needs this type of tax bracket. I need him to have a car. Men do the same thing. She got to have a six-pack. I don't want her titties sagging. She better have real hair. Like, people do that all day long. And I read it and scroll. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Right? If it doesn't apply, scroll on by. But why are people so hell-bent? It's like you're forcing someone to like who you are, what you are. Now, the second part of this is that Black women are saying, well, he said that we angry Black women. I'm like, well, don't be angry when you're saying that, first of all, because that doesn't help the stereotype. But second, he is specifically talking about his personal experiences, right? And I have a big issue with people trying to take people's personal experiences from an individual just because you don't fit that bill, right? So, for instance, if I run into somebody and they're like, Puerto Rican women this and Puerto Rican women that and Puerto Rican I'm like, I can't tell that person, you know what I mean? That wasn't your experience. And that's not how Puerto Rican women are. I can't do that, because then I'm taking someone's experiences away from them. All I can do is be who I am. And then if that person wants to say, oh, you're different than Puerto Rican people I was talking about, that's all I can do. The only thing I can do is be Puerto Rican how I'm Puerto Rican. But I'm not going to be offended and start saying he must hate his mama, ain't his first baby mama Black, and, you know, fuck them bitches and they can have them. Because if that's true, if they can have 50 and you don't care, why are you so angry about it? And if I'm missing something here, please chime in. I will read off your comments and your questions. If I'm missing something, chime in. But I did read you verbatim what his exact quote was. So do not come at me with something that he didn't say or adding something that he didn't say. Okay? Right. So I'll take your questions or comments or whatever, because I may be missing something, right? And I would say that my esteem is a little more hardcore than most women, if I could brag a little bit, in terms of people get on social media and they let people break them down with their keyboard, right? They let people break them down. They can read one meme and the meme will say white women are better than Black women, and that Black woman, her whole day would be fucked up. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have my not all sign today. I usually put up a not all and some to make people feel comfortable, because I'm not talking about everybody. But somebody can read something on social media and they'll ruin their whole fucking day. I don't give a rat's ass, especially if you're not in my dating pool and I don't want you and I'm probably never going to meet you, right? Now, with that said, I met 50. He was cool with me. He's a lot different in person than he is publicly. He's all business in person. But, you know, 50 is a troll. That's his brand. So he's going to say some outlandish, really funny things, and it's going to get people going, right? So I'm going to look through the comments really quickly. Okay, Wes Clark made a great point. He said, isn't 50's girlfriend Black? Yes, his current girlfriend is Black, right? The young one?
I think she's mixed.
She's mixed or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so his current girlfriend is mixed, but she looks, when you look at her, you know, I see a Black woman, right? Also, I don't know, my thing is, like, I'm not gonna lie, right? If I see somebody with a woman of color, period, I say, I feel like he stayed within his own. If I see a Black man with a woman of color, period, whether she's, in my opinion, Asian or Thailand or I don't know, Dominican or Puerto Rican or Black. I'm like, in my opinion, that man stayed within the tribe, in my opinion. But I know a lot of Black women don't consider Asian women as how can I say, as Afrocentric as they are, because they think that Daphne Joy, which is a second baby mother, doesn't qualify to be in that realm. So yeah, as far as I know, I saw 50 Cent's most recent girlfriend. She looks Black to me. I wouldn't think she's anything else. Like when I look at her, I wouldn't say, hey, I think she's white. Like she's obviously what we would call Black here in America. I thought Mark Randall's stupid. He said he thought this was about dating for 50 people. No, it's about 50 Cent. What's up, Ed? What's up, Jose? Titi Jenny. Okay, guys, so if you have any questions or comments or you want to add to what I just said, feel free. I'm here with my baby girl, Kitty Brigante, my womb creation. This is my baby. Okay, so if you guys want to talk preferences, dating, have you ever dated outside of your race?
Have a good question.
And been attacked? Oh, Mark Antonio Slime. Mark Antonio Slime says Snoop is with a Black woman, but you say he's Martha's boy. Okay, he's talking about Snoop Dogg. You want me to get off my topic, but really quickly I'll touch on that. The reason why I said that's Martha's boy, I was being very facetious towards Snoop Dogg, because Snoop Dogg is well known for pointing out who's a coon, right? And I was saying that someone who I consider Martha's boy, Martha Stewart, someone who I consider Martha's boy should not be calling out other Black people for cooning. Because to me, a Black man that caters to an old white lady, in my opinion, he's her boy. I mean, he's her boy. And, you know, we've seen images and pictures and videos of Snoop Dogg licking chocolate off of Martha Stewart's fingers and hand. So to me, that it's very plantation-esque. So that's why I said that. Yeah, it's gross. I posted the pictures on my page. If you want to see the picture of Snoop Dogg licking chocolate off of Martha Stewart's finger, it is on my page. All right, guys. So back to the topic about preferences. I know I asked a couple people to come on the panel today, and they was like, I'm not going to touch it because it's a hot topic or a triggering topic. But I think that we can talk, right? Like, why are people so afraid to talk? People can talk and disagree and then agree to disagree. It is okay, right? So if you've ever dated outside of your race, like I said before, and you caught heat for it, let me know. I will read your questions and comments and put my 2 cents to it. But I just wanted to address how easily triggered people are on social media by someone that has absolutely nothing to do with you and probably will never have anything to do with you. And that's way too much power to give somebody, right? That's way too much power to give somebody. And I think instead of blaming 50 Cent for how Black women are viewed, I think that you should build up your self-esteem so what someone else prefers doesn't affect you. Because at the end of the day, that's really what happened. Somebody preferring something else affected you. And that's crazy, right? That's crazy to me. Also, you know, again, when he said in his world, that's what happened, that's what happened. If you've ever been to 50 Cent's Instagram page, I've seen it with my own eyes where, you know what I mean, dozens of Black women are berating him for dating, having a baby mother named Daphne Joy, who's Asian of some sort, and saying that he's betraying his race or whatever. So he's basically clapping back to those people. And I want to address the word exotic, right? I saw threads was that Black women are exotic too. Like Black women are exotic. Because remember, 50 Cent said he likes dating things that are exotic, that look like they just came off a boat, right? And if we look at the word exotic, we got exotic animals, we have exotic cars. Exotic basically means shit that is not regular, right? Or it's not the average thing. 50 Cent said that, you know, these women that he dates or that he prefers are not necessarily women that you would see in the hood, right? But we all know once that tax bracket grows, you're around a different dating pool. You're in a completely different dating pool. See, had I stayed in the Bronx, then, you know, my dating pool is limited, right? If I moved out to Beverly Hills, you know what I mean, and I'm going to the getting a smoothie, you know, the guys that are coming in and out of that's a completely different dating pool, right? They're going to look different than what I'm used to. So how people were offended by that, I don't understand. Black women are exotic to a man who doesn't see them all the time, right? White women are exotic to someone who doesn't see them all the time, right? I'm exotic, but not in a Puerto Rican neighborhood, right? In a Puerto Rican neighborhood, that's just another Puerto Rican girl. So you're exotic when you're out of your element. So that's another thing that I didn't understand why created so much havoc. So now people are like, we're exotic too. But it still goes back to you being hurt by something that somebody said that has nothing to do with you and you're not going to date, right? And again, it's crazy.
It's very crazy.
So you mixed, even though I know we can't say that no more, right? You got a one drop, so I have to call you Black.
Why we can't say mix no more?
Because then now you Black. Because Facebook said you Black, so it don't matter that you.
I'm mixed. That's not what I said.
Okay.
Period.
So have you ever dated, quote unquote, outside of your mixedness or your race, and somebody told you, oh, why you with that person, or why you with that person? Have you ever experienced anything like that?
I've dated outside of my race, but it wasn't a thing where people questioned me as to why I did so, but I questioned myself. Oh. If that makes sense. Like I have dated a white guy before, and it just felt weird to me.
What was weird about it?
You can, like, no matter how cool a person is, or, you know, because he was cool, but it's like I constantly felt a disconnect somewhere. I don't know what it was.
Was it the whole white devil thing, or?
I just think it was it was just we're just different. I feel like we're raised different. We're taught to believe certain things differently. It just was a weird vibe. No matter how cool things were going, it was just like, I feel weird here. I'm the one who feels weird here, but yeah.
So is that why you ended it? Is that why you kind of
because it was just too weird for me. It was just, like I said, it was a disconnect. And that's not to say, you know, it's because, oh, you know, he's a white devil or whatever it is, because there's plenty of people in interracial relationships, but it just didn't work for me. Okay. So I prefer to stick with what's the norm to me, which would be whatever it is that I'm mixed with, but I'm mixed, period. So.
I never dated white because I'm afraid of pink appendages.
Okay, well.
I'm afraid to see like pink toes and pink nipples and shit like that.
Okay.
So I'm kind of.
That's understandable.
I'm afraid like you gotta take your shirt off, pink nipples, or pink penis or something like that. That would freak me out.
Yeah.
So would you do it again? Would you date another white guy if he was like really cool? Or?
I probably would.
Really?
I probably would.
Now, what was your initial attraction? Was it just curiosity, or this guy grew on you? Or?
No, he was just a really dope white boy. Like, he definitely had a swag to him. He didn't act like what we look at white people to act as. So that's what attracted me to him, because he was just really dope, and that was cool and all. But then once it was happening, I was like, oh no, something is weird here. So, like, it's just weird. I don't know why. Like, maybe I didn't give it enough time to adjust, but I was like, nah.
Now, what's exotic to you? Like, who would you consider exotic? Because we all have, I think every human being on this planet thinks that something is exotic, right?
I would have to go back to what you said earlier. Exotic is basically what you're not used to seeing. That's what it means to me too. So exotic would be anything that I haven't seen before, growing up on the block or going to school, stuff like that. Like, and I've seen a lot. Like, you see a lot in the hood too. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of exotic going on in the hood, but it's just like
I'm exotic in the hood.
But yeah, like it's just things that you're not used to seeing.
And I think that's really in a nutshell what 50 was saying. He's like, you know how he talks. He's like, I want a motherfucker that look like they just got off a boat from somewhere. So I totally get it. And when you're in that tax bracket, you have access.
Yeah.
You have access, because if he was still Curtis in Queens, he's from Queens, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you still Curtis from Queens, he's gonna have, a minimal amount of, you know what I mean, women to choose from. But he's worldwide now, so he's probably looking at something that looks like an alien with made up of 3 different races. So I totally get it. And at the end of the day, it's his fucking right.
Yeah.
Like, why are people
I feel
forcing?
like everybody is lying. If you were in that particular position where you could literally taste test whatever race you wanted to, I think everybody would do it. So I feel like we're all speaking from a perspective of we're not there right now, so we just don't know. And that I'm referring to the people who are angry about it. If you were in a different situation, there's a very high chance that you would be dating a whole lot of what you're not used to. That's just the reality of it. People just want things to be mad at. In my opinion, people want things to be mad at because if I don't have to wake up or go to sleep with you, and I never will have to, I don't care if you like me or not. This goes back to me saying you have to date people who like you. You just got to date people who like you. Like, I'm not checking for nobody that doesn't like me. There's a lot of guys who aren't attracted to me because I have waves and I wear do-rags and I dress more fly than them.
Can we do a wave check?
Clothes. Not right now.
Okay.
But
I want a wave check.
There's a lot of guys that aren't into that, and that's okay with me. It doesn't bother me. Why? Because I date people who like me. It's so simple.
I think that's the lesson here today, right? Bait fish that you can catch.
That's all it is.
Right? Bait fish that you can catch. And I've heard it all. Like, some people, they go online and they talk a lot of shit of what they wish they were like. I am dead serious. I've been online. I've had people say I look like a dude. I've had people say my jawline is too strong. I've had people say I must have been a man because I have a little 6-pack. I've heard you're too skinny. I heard, well, if you didn't look this way. I've heard so many things. And I'm like, all I can do is laugh because, one, you're an image on a monitor or on a cell phone. You're an image. I'm never going to see you. I'm not going to. And 9 times out of 10, or 99.9 times, you're far from my taste as well, right? I did a show once, and it was a dating show, a reality show, and the only Puerto Rican guy on the show said, I don't date Puerto Rican women, right? And I said, "What? That shit's crazy. You're not gonna believe this because I don't date Puerto Rican men." So we have 2 people who are both Puerto Rican talking about you're not my preference and you're not my preference. And it was like, hey, shit happens. And we went on about our business and performed on the show and then went our separate ways. I didn't leave that man. Oh my God, he don't like Puerto Rican women. What am I gonna do? I didn't want you. I don't want you. And even if I did want you, and you're like, I don't do your type, I'd have been like, well, fuck. It's a good thing we're on a planet of billions. So at the end of the day, you have it is within, right? If there's no enemy within, no enemy on the outside can affect you. So I think that women have to check their self-esteem. Nobody named 50 Cent or any other name should affect you to the point where you're going 300 comments strong about what's wrong with this self-hating Negro and isn't his mama black. It doesn't matter. And let me tell you something. My daddy is Puerto Rican. That means I gotta date Puerto Rican men. Right? It makes no sense. It is nonsensical. I'm scroll real quick to the questions. Hey, William. He said, I was blessed to meet both of you.
Hi, William.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I used to do movie nights in the Bronx, and William came with us one time. I used to do like group movie dates, which I used to love. And he showed up for us. A lot of people were fronting. A lot of people was like, I'm going, but they didn't show up, and he did. Hey, Ivy, thank you. Ivan knows you since you was little, since Butter and Toast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hi, Ivan.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. Mark Randall said, he's so rich, he probably got Brazilian chicks with titties on their back.
Probably.
You
But
know,
that's exotic.
But you know what's interesting? It is. That is exotic. A woman, see, even that's exotic. A woman with titties on her back. The funny thing is, let me touch on that real quick. One of the 2 times I worked with 50, right? He took us in his office. We were shooting a web series for him, and he took us in his office. Meaning me and the other actor and the stunt man that shout out to Derek Simmons, the stuntman that hooked up the gig for me and this other guy. And 50 Cent took us in his office, and he was talking about business for a long time. And one of the things that he said in the business, he said, there's really nothing any woman can show me. I've seen every type of pussy in the world, around the world. And I believed everything he said when he said it. Because not only is he wealthy, not only is he famous, but he's traveling the world. So you have to understand that all types of women who have a television set, right, and know who he is, are trying to throw some cooch at him. So, you know, he knows what he's talking about. So again, we have to leave people to their own experiences. They don't have to match ours. Mm-hmm. They don't have to match ours. You know what I'm saying? I may think I like a certain type, and then boom, I'm on a red carpet with Jason Momoa, and then it's like, oh shit, hey. Hi, I like your movies. You know what I mean? You don't know, like you were saying, you don't know until you're in that situation. Again, it is about your self-esteem. Mm-hmm. Yours. It's like Cat Williams says, self-esteem is the esteem of yourself, bitch. You know what I mean? It's like you have to work on your self-esteem. No one owes you that. And another thing is like now we're at the age where everybody wants a participation trophy. Like if I say, I like the color blue, 10 people will jump on, you know, some people jump on my post and say, well, what about people that like red? I don't give a fuck about people that like red. I just said I like blue, right? But everybody wants to be included in every thought, every emotion, every production, every comment, every suggestion. So when 50 Cent said, I like exotic women, black men, I'm exotic too. Yes, sis, you exotic, but not to the average black man. Like only because he sees you all the time. Now you go in another circle, you go like in Europe or Italy, and you're going to be hella exotic. You know what I mean? Because out there, you're not the regular versus you walking down the street in Brooklyn. Unless you look like Grace Jones.
Yeah. Then
that's a whole, you know, then sis, yeah, you exotic everywhere.
She's dope.
But how many people look like Grace Jones, right? So, okay, Ed said, I dated a white girl and that left a bad taste in my mouth. Dating another one is possible, but I'm more attracted to Black and Latina women. That's what it said. Mm-hmm. Why did the white girl leave a bad taste in your mouth? Do you mean literally or figuratively? I need to know. And what about them pink nipples? Can you get used to that? Okay. Wes Clark says, did you see Vivica Fox's comments? I think Vivica Fox said, what was it she said? I saw one of the quotes. But Vivica and 50 are always at war. They're always getting pressed from each other. I see here Vivica Fox said, you can't handle a Black woman, can you? I don't know. I know he's dated Black women. I know his girlfriend right now is Black. I know his first baby mama's Black. So, and I'm sure a lot of the women that he's dealt with, you know what I mean, are Black. So I don't know how to take that. You can't handle a Black woman. I don't know what she means by that. You can't handle a Black woman. Like, I would have to hear the entire interview to try and understand what she means by you can't handle a Black woman. I don't know what she means. Handle what? I don't know. So, but
she missed him so bad.
Doesn't it seem like it?
Girl.
I'm like, damn, you smashed. Like, that's
missed him so bad.
I'm like, Vivica, you smashed. That should be, you know what I'm saying? That's one for the books. Andrew Harris said, would you do 50? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, speaking of preferences, like 50's not my type. He's not my type. I think the girl that he's with now is perfect for him because in my opinion, 50's very silly and immature. And he's with a very young girl, right? She's in her 20s. I'm guessing.
Yes, we're like the same age.
Yeah, she looks very young. So his current girlfriend, I think when a man is immature like that, and he's wealthy, and he does a lot of traveling, and a lot of acting up. It's best for him to be with someone young, you know what I mean? Because mentally, they're on the same level. Now, physically, I like what 50 looks like physically. He's tall, you know what I mean, brown. He takes care of his body. So physically, yeah, I dig his look, but mentally, I wouldn't put myself in that situation. If I see a truck coming, I jump out the way. I don't see if I could jump on and hold on. So no, I wouldn't do 50. And I will say, the 2 times I worked with him, he was very, very respectful, perfect gentleman with me, very professional. You know what I mean? So that's my experience. I can't speak for anybody else's experience. So if he's been a complete jackass with someone else, I can't say anything about that. I don't know. That was my experience. Mark Randall said, hell, I'll do 50 for a price. Lord. Mark is one of the resident white boys. So, they wired a little different. Mark Randall said, I don't blame you, Jen. Pink nipples don't do it for me either. I'm just saying, we all have a preference. Wes Clark is playing it safe. I tried to get Wes Clark on today. He said, I'm not touching that subject with a 10-foot pole. He didn't want his head taken off today, I guess, because it's a sensitive topic. I don't know why we should be able to have these conversations without biting the heads off of men. You know what I mean? We all have a preference, and we lying if we say we don't. Women talk about being over 6 feet all the damn time. Stop.
That's a fact.
Ed Rodriguez says, when you travel, you think different.
Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, people don't know no different. It's just, if you was in a certain position, you would be trying out a whole lot of stuff.
Yep.
Even if it's not what you into, you're just going to do it because you know you can.
Right. And it's different, Okay, Ed Ambitious. I asked him what was his issue, left a bad taste in his mouth. The white girl. He says she was acting
like a pure bitch.
Okay, that's a reason to not want to date somebody. Okay, he said she was acting like a pure. Lily Washington, hey, beautiful. This is my baby.
Hi.
We have to do a panel together. All right, guys. So that's really all I wanted to get into. Is 50 Cent's preferences a self-hate problem, or are the problem with his preferences your issues with your own self-esteem? Because again, I will be damned if somebody's preferences who I don't know are going to make me feel less than. Okay? Everybody's responsible for their own self-esteem. And even if they're speaking generally or stereotypically, guess what? It still doesn't apply to Jen, the individual. Someone could go online. It could be the biggest celebrity in the world. It could be Drake, okay? And I'm a big fan of Drake. And Drake could go online and say, I don't like dating Puerto Rican women, right? I'm still going to love Drake's music. You know why? Because I wasn't invested in Drake to date him or for him to like what I look like aesthetically. I like his art, right? So I don't give a damn who Drake wants to date, right? I like his art. So he could go online and be, I don't like my preference is not Puerto Rican women, right? I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I'm still gonna bump this because I'm not gonna date you, so I don't care, right? So I think that's where, there's a thin line, you know what I mean? There's a thin line between being insulted and what was actually said.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who someone prefers to date is none of your damn business. Let's start there. You know what I mean? And you can't be insulted because the person doesn't look like you. And again, there's an environment of hypersensitivity that is just, it's really silly now.
Stay off the internet. Stay off the internet if you can't take it. Like, sis, stay off the internet.
I totally agree. That's like, I go through a lot of blocking people, and because, it's like I post something and people get really upset and they're like, oh, you just want everybody to agree with you. No, I don't want everybody to agree with me. I want you to be able to agree to disagree and then get the fuck on with your life. But people can't agree to disagree and get the fuck on. They want to stay on my shit, you know, for comment after comment after comment after comment. And now you're annoying me. So we can agree to disagree. You know what I mean? I thought people hate Candace Owens. I thought her conversation with Mark Lamont Hill was amazing because they disagreed on every single point. I mean, I've never seen two people have such a cordial conversation who disagreed on every single point. And they left there with smiles on their faces and shaking hands. And that is very possible. You and I can disagree on every single point. But when you start getting disrespectful because you're emotional about this, or it's hitting you in a way that's triggering something that I have nothing to do with, then I got an issue with you.
Date people who like you.
So that is basically it in a nutshell. Lily said they felt like he could have they felt like he could have a preference without putting down anyone. I think most women didn't like what he said after stating his preference. That's most of the comments I would say. Okay, Lily, you jumped on late, so let me address that real quick. He didn't put down Black women. He specifically was talking about the women who come and bash him, who are angry about him having dating preferences. So he didn't say, you know, all Black women are angry, or what he said specifically was the women that are always telling him, why you like that? Why you dating this one? And why you dating that one? And I think that would make anybody defensive because it's like your preference. So people are going to be defensive like, I don't even know you. Why do you care who I'm dating?
Right.
But, you know, they took that little bit and then painted all Black women. 50 said all Black women. No, he's specifically talking about the women that attack him online. But here's the doozy that people are not gonna like to hear. Even if he said all Black women, right? It's still nobody's business but his. Right? If I met somebody that said all Puerto Rican women are trash, I'm Puerto Rican. I wasn't gonna date you anyway. I don't care what you think. I honestly don't care. And if you see me on my page, like I really don't care about preferences unless you're being disrespectful. And to me, saying these women are angry who come on my page, which is what 50 basically said. And he said it in jest too, because he was laughing throughout the whole thing. He wasn't like Black, so it's context too. But if he's saying the women that come on my page are angry as hell, and they're always telling me why you dating that one, why you dating that one, he's gonna clap back. So my thing is, right, don't start none and then play the victim.
Right.
Right? If you're gonna start some shit, like you gotta be about it. You gotta say it with your chest and understand that the reaction you're gonna get may be worse than what you even did. But that's the social media environment. You never know what you're gonna get. It's a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
In the process of not knowing what you're gonna get, date people you like and people who like you.
That's important.
That's it.
That's important.
Stop checking for people that don't want you. That's the problem. Stop checking for people that don't want you.
I think it's just that people get attached to celebrities. So when celebrities do say something wild or off the cuff or just something that they like, I think it hurts people. Like, oh, I liked you.
Stay off the internet.
Yeah, well, they could do that too.
Stay off the internet.
But then what else would we do with our time?
Right, God forbid.
What's up, Loretta Scott? She is so pretty. I don't even know how you ended up on my friends list, but I be peeping your profile pic, girl. Yes, Lily, and you're one of them. Lily said, I love people who know how to have healthy debates. Ed says, I don't understand people who can't respectfully disagree.
Right.
Unless they're racist, straight bitch assness.
Right.
Loretta says, I think we need to dive deeper into this conversation. What's missing is how the people that are mad feel. Some people made points I understood on both sides. Loretta, you just got here, so I asked earlier, if I'm missing something, please comment it, and then we can dissect it, because maybe I'm missing something. But when I hear, you know, like 50 talk in general about people that are attacking him, I don't see why it would affect people that weren't included in that quarreling, right? That's what I don't get. Like, I'm not gonna get offended for somebody else, right? And I feel like women were getting offended for other people, and it's like he was specifically talking about women that attack him on his social media, and I've seen it. I've seen it. So, the 1,000 pesos. Just looking real quick to see if I missed something. Mark Randall says my circle has to be Dominican, Brazilian, Puerto Rican, and mixed. Otherwise, my thirst is never quenched. Okay, you know. Cool. Well, hopefully everybody you likes you back. Wes Clark said there's a thin line between love and Drake. I'm just hoping Drake never does anything stupid. I don't want to have to cancel him. Ed Ambitious said, I ain't for everyone and damn sure ain't trying to be.
Period.
I like that.
Period.
I like that.
So simple.
I ain't for everyone and damn sure ain't trying to be. Wes Clark said there is always that fantasy. So I guess what he said was killing the Vanderzee for some girls. You know what? I think that has a lot to do with it. That's a great point, Wes Clark. Wes Clark said there is always that fantasy about that celebrity you like, right? So I guess what he said was killing the Vanderzee for some girls. And I think that's what hurt feelings. Right? But again, I'm into artistry, right? Like, I admire The Rock for his passion for waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and working out and coming from nothing and being $1 billion box office breadwinner. Like, I admire him like that, right? So I don't admire him romantically. And I think that we have to stop admiring people romantically, right? Because we don't know these people. I think we're too hell-bent on being in the lives of celebrities. So I think that's what it is. I think women who were probably attracted to 50 Cent romantically were hurt by his comments. I just like some of his music, and I'm not invested in any celebrity romantically. So, that's that. So I don't care what they like. Ivan McLaughlin. Ivy says, at the end of the day, love yourself, right? Yourself can never let you down, right? Love yourself, right? And if your brain is screwed on right, yourself will always love you back. All right, we're going to read a couple more, and then we're going to be out of here. That's a good point, though. The fantasy was killed. It's like, oh, you wouldn't like me? Ivy says some people don't like themselves, so it's difficult for them to really have a preference. Poor self-esteem, possibly poor self-image. That's true. Okay, Steve Hill says, why can't I see the comments you're reading? Is this live? Y'all know 50 is a professional troll. Steve, yeah, we're live right now for a few minutes more. I don't know why you can't see the comments. I can see them all. Yeah, he trolls. And even, I'm telling you guys, if you haven't seen it, stop reading the headlines, 50 hates black women. Like, stop reading those headlines. I know y'all hate to read and watch videos, but click into the headline and you will see what he said and exactly how he said it. And you're going to laugh at it because it's so stupid and silly. Like, you can't even take him seriously. I'm telling you, if you was to watch the video, you're going to laugh at it. I would laugh if he was talking about Puerto Rican women going at him and being crazy about his preferences. It was funny. It wasn't a statement. It was like, this is my life, and people come at me and they're angry about who I'm dating, and I just want some shit that looks like it got off a boat, right? So, Andrew Harris says, I have my shit together and a successful business, but women want me to chase them because I'm 5'9". Did you say 5? Ew. He said the number 5. I'm just kidding. Okay. But let me tell you something, Andrew. There are plenty of women who will take you as is. My thing is bait fish you can catch. Stop chasing women that like 6 foot and over, and then talk about women don't like 5 foot something. There are women that like 5 foot something. Pay attention to them. Forget about the women that always talk about you gotta be 6 feet and over. There's plenty of I like some 5 footers, you know what I mean, wandering around, especially if you got your shit together. You're welcome. Alisa says, thanks for sharing your thoughts on this. All right, guys. I guess Loretta has left the room. I was hoping that she was going to type what she thought some of the issues were. Lily says, that's like when trans women call men who don't want them homophobic. Girl, bye.
Yeah.
You know what? I was just talking about that earlier on another post about Terry Crews, where this guy was calling Terry Crews moist and all, kind of trying to insinuate that Terry is a homosexual because, I guess he doesn't fit the I don't want to say toxic masculinity, but he just doesn't, Terry Crews, the consensus is he doesn't fit the I am man, hear me roar. And the guy was just basically saying that he was moist or whatever, or trying to hint that he was a homosexual. And my thing is, I'm not calling anybody a homosexual who hasn't stated that they are, or that I saw with my own eyes with them having a relationship with another man. Like, I don't do it. I don't like it. So it is the same thing when a man doesn't like a woman and the first thing she says, oh, you must be gay. Or, it's stupid. It's like, no, he just doesn't want you. Let it go. Bait fish you can catch. All right, guys. So we are almost out of here. Andrew, I'm just kidding. You think I haven't dated somebody in the 5 foot category before? I'm just kidding. But hey, good for you. You look taller than that because your pictures, you look hella tall. So I'm surprised you're 5'9". Unless you're trolling right now. Mark Randall says, go for the low hanging fruit, buddy. Wes Clark said, yeah, but a lot of women claim they like tall men, but they still love themselves some Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne looks like the gremlin you threw water on. You ain't got nothing to say on that, right?
No, man.
I think they like his fame and his money.
I was about to say, I think it's just the bag.
It's the bag. It's not. Because Lil Wayne looks, he looks crunchy, literally. Rod says Terry Crews done lost his damn mind. Lily said exactly. That's weaponizing homosexuality, and my community does that as well. Mark Randall says platforms, Jen. I am not wearing platforms to. Oh, you mean a man should wear platforms? Yeah. So, all right, guys. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for joining us and all those great comments. You had some great comments. I was really hoping for someone to add something maybe that we could dissect of why there was so much butthurt going on behind 50 Cent's comments, but Loretta left, so I think we're gonna close out. Hi, Ivy. Ivy, it's great seeing you too. So again, bait fish you can catch is the words I'm gonna leave you with. Leave 50 to his crazy world and his crazy girls and whatever the hell else.
Crazy world, crazy girl.
Yeah, that sounds like a album. But if it's any consolation, he's with a black woman now. So there you go. So I guess he could handle them every now and then.
Every now and then. Child.
The
ghetto.
Oh wait, how? Hold on, Lily, because I do not know how to. I'd have to send you one moment. Maybe Lily could leave us with some parting words. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna try to bring Lily in before we close out. Lily could leave us with. Lily always has great insight. Cindy. Okay, doll, I just sent you, Lily, I just sent you the link. So click on and we'll do the last 5 minutes with you. I just emailed you the link. Ed says, I like my shorter women. The shorter, the better. I'm 6 feet, so if she's my height, that's cool too. But I have to be able to give her forehead kisses without standing on milk crates. Okay, Rod says, 50 is a great businessman, but his character and personality ain't hitting on nothing. I think his public persona isn't, but I don't know. When I met him behind the scenes, he was so different. Like, I tell people that all the time. Like, 50 is really different when the cameras are off, and in a good way. Like, you really do think you're talking to a regular businessman that takes life very seriously. But I don't know. What I see online is not the 50 I know. And here we have Lily, who we're going to close out with. And if you guys have any more comments.
Hey, ladies. Hi. How are you?
We are good. Hold on. You
Okay.
gotta... Please,
so,
please.
You are so beautiful.
Thank you.
Do you see what I did? Do you see what I did?
Yeah, she is gorgeous.
Thank you. So tell me, please tell me what you think.
Okay, so I posted about this. I'm probably looking like I have fried chicken on my face, so please do not come for me, anybody. And if you do, it's okay. It's true. So, now, okay, before I go into it, let me give a disclaimer, okay? Because, I'm not going to assume that everyone has met me that is in the comment sections right now. So, and I've done a few broadcasts with you. And, so I'm from the LGBT community. I identify as non-binary, but I know that the world views me as trans. I'm okay with it all. I don't give a damn, okay? And so I have never claimed to be a woman, and I don't want to be a woman. I just want to be a pretty motherfucker. And I think I do it pretty well. Okay.
You do.
Now that we got that together, I wanted to add to it because what I was looking at was, I don't think it was 50 in particular. I think it was the feeling that I get from a lot of Black women, because I came from managing models and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I managed from different races and stuff like that. And I, standing kind of like in the middle, I was privy to hearing conversations and things like that most people, not even the models, were privy to hearing. And it was, like some of the stuff I don't even like to repeat. And it was a lot of stuff towards Black women, right? Okay. So I always heard Black women speak about feeling this way, right? But because I'm not a Black woman, I don't really know. I can't really say one way or another, just like no one knows what it's like to walk through life with my lenses on. Mm-hmm. So it was like being able to like kind of put lenses on as a Black woman, kind of like spy a little bit to see what they go through. And I'm like, maybe I need to take a step back and see where this is coming from. And it really, when I saw the comments around 50, it really wasn't 50. I think he represented what they hear a lot of. And then when I clicked on a lot of the different podcasts that people were discussing it, that's what a lot of people were saying. They were just like, you know what? I don't even know why people were saying, I don't even know why we're giving him any, because this is 50. He trolls. But what I was hearing a lot of women say, and especially dark-skinned women, because I want to be clear about that too. I manage Black women, and some of them happen to be dark-skinned, and that was a whole different treatment. It was like bad enough to be a Black woman, but a dark-skinned woman, it was like literally treated like the lowest of the totem pole. I've actually had people tell my models, wow, you're pretty, but you're too Black, like to their face. And so or going to get models signed, and then there's like 200 white girls on the board, and then there's 4 black girls and one of them's dark, and then she's novelty dark, she's got to be blue black novelty dark, not like the no in betweens. So I think that's what that was. I think that was a lot of just I think they were just sick of hearing that narrative always being spun toward them, and I think they were just taking it out on 50 because and this ain't new because they do take it out on 50, and he is right. People do come for him for his preferences and things like that. They do, which is none of their damn business, right? So you can't piss somebody off either, and then tell them how mad to get, right?
Right.
So I feel like some of that is provoking 50, but at the same time, for those who didn't provoke 50. What he said kind of symbolizes what they feel like they've been hearing their entire life. So that's what I have been getting from the conversations that I've been seeing around it, So I don't know if you already kind of touched on that in particular.
No, not at all.
That's what I was seeing.
No, not at all. And I wanted, someone to come in and give me a different angle. I can totally understand that when someone's been insulted for a long time about a certain thing, even when they hear it in jest, it still stings, right? So I totally understand that. But I say, damn it, there are so many men who praise and kiss the ground of dark-skinned, voluptuous, Black women. Why not more emphasis on them, which goes back to my participation trophy thing, where it's like every Black man is not going to be that type of person, but I see them all day and night. She needs to be chocolate. She needs to be dark. She needs to be this. She needs to have this type of hair. So I'm like, concentrate on that, like bait fish you can catch. Everybody is not going to be that. So don't waste time on 50. Don't give him the energy because he's going to say something else tomorrow.
It's true. I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, like I stated in the comment section, I see it from my community when trans women get mad at a straight man for not wanting them. Like, girl, like, why are you even... He don't want you. What do you use your... Like, you could be using that energy to, like, do something, lose 5 pounds or something. Like, right. I don't know. I just don't get that. I don't get that at all. I do get the hurt. I do empathize with the hurt of Black women because there is this thing, and there is kind of a totem pole, like because, and I feel like the trans woman is right up under there, So there is a level of hierarchy and stuff like that, and I really got to see it, like I said, when I was managing models. It was really like, oh wow, I just kind of got to put on each person's lens, I've just been in that space lately of stopping and just trying to see if I can put on that person's lens for a few seconds, like, because I just realized that life looks different for each of us. For instance, my husband and I are completely different. He's a masculine guy that people perceive as being heterosexual because he's very masculine. He commands the room when he walks in the room, and people are just going to assume that he's a heterosexual man. So they treat him different, and he recognizes that his lenses through life is completely different through mine. So he always asks me questions. What is this like for you? How has this been for you? How do you see this based on your experiences? So it's important for us to just kind of stop for a second, and see if we can put it on someone's lenses for a minute and see where that hurt is coming from. Because that's a lot of hurt. Like, they're not just mad because of 50. Because 50 ain't got that much power. 50 ain't even that cute, y'all.
I like the Caesar look from Planet of the Apes. I like that look.
I'm going to let you and Vivica have that, okay? I'm gonna let you and Vivica, y'all go ahead and discuss that. And, no, but leave y'all with them.
On a serious note, I love, every time I talk to you, there's always such positivity. I always come away with something amazing. And I love those questions because I'm very, I'm not the most, sympathetic, empathetic person. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is what it is. This is what it is. You know what I mean? Keep moving, keep moving. If it doesn't affect you, keep going. But I love those questions that you ask. How does this feel to you? How does this look through your lens? I think that's amazing communication. And it's something that I will try to do more often, because sometimes I project myself on people like, I wouldn't care, so you shouldn't care. You know what I mean? Like, chin up, girl, keep going.
I'm like that too now. I told you this is new for me. The whole lens thing, new practice. I'm just sharing it with you so we can probably do it together. But yeah, because I wouldn't have gotten where I'm at in self-esteem and self-acceptance if I still gave a fuck. Okay. Right. And so I look at people like, why do you still give a fuck? Like, do they knock on your door on the first to pay your rent? Mm-hmm. No, they don't. Like, are they putting food on your table? No, they don't. Why do you care? I will be honest with you. The last person that I cared about who thought of something about me was my mother. That was the last and only person. And now that we done got that out the way, none of y'all hoes can mess with me. Like, it's just nothing. I can't think of anything that anybody can say that's going to ruffle my feathers, because either the shit's true or it's not.
Mm-hmm. That's part. What's up, Dante Bradford? I thought you was gonna be on today. Dante Bradford is an actor. Are you in Chicago, Dante? I don't know. I don't know if you're in Chicago. No, but you see, this is what I needed. I needed to see it, you know, from another perspective, because I'm very black and white, cut and dry. But you know, I can't ignore that something hurt somebody that I've never been through. I've never been through that. I've never been in rooms and people literally saying, you a little too, you know, Puerto Rican, or we could have hired you, but you too, you know, I've never been through that. And on top of going through that, this is a continuous thing in their life, right? This is constantly, there's always something, you'd be cuter if you were lighter. I know I've seen the comments, and I've jumped into some of the comments, like, you guys are being really ignorant. So I understand. I'm going to try, I'm empathy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I learned something new from, like, I was listening to Black women talk about when they were younger, that they were made to use a certain soap, Ambi soap, because their parents thought that it was going to lighten their skin, or how they put clothespins on their nose so that their nose wouldn't get too broad. I mean, it's things like, I didn't have that happen to me. I ain't know shit. I ain't know nothing about that. I had my own set of stuff, but that wasn't it. So I was like, wow, okay. I wouldn't have thought of that. I just wouldn't have thought of that, you know. And it's not just with Black women. I've heard this with Indian women as well. So, you know, it's, we don't know. We just don't know.
Well, hey, I'm too nappy for the average Puerto Rican. So we all got something. I got the bad hair. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We all got something that we had to put up with.
We all do. We all do. We got to stop giving people our power. Like, go take your power back. Go over the 50 page, take your power back. Delete your comment and take your power back. Because I'm not giving you my power. I'm not. I could be using that to do something else. I got a million things I could be doing. I just, you know, I enjoy being over here on the block with Jen. But I got a million things I be doing. I'm not giving nobody my power, you know, unless it's good energy. I give you my good energy, stuff like that. But I'm not. No. Mm-mm.
Dante said, I've been told I was ugly and dark when I was young. It was painful. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Well, you ain't ugly, boo. I seen you. And if it's set on the block, that's what it is, because we keep it real here.
Yeah. Yeah, you might be dark, but you ain't ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, God.
Yeah, but no, it's all good and last. But that's pretty much what I wanted to add to it, you know.
I want to read this last comment before we exit. Mark Randall says, he says, they're afraid 50 Cent has influence and he will school of men not to fetishize traditional Black women with blunt features and less than good hair, etc. That's why they mad at him. What do you think about that, Lou?
I don't believe that, because from what I'm seeing and what I hear from a lot of women, that they are sick of that narrative, period. It's like when a Black man gets achieves a certain status. Like he might come up, let's just take Steve Harvey. He had regular smegular black girl, just regular around the way wife, pretty, regular though. And then, it's like they always do a trade-in and an upgrade for the lighter, the brighter, the whiter, the longer hair.
And I remember his comments. And I didn't like him. When he was like, God gave me the complexion I like in a woman, the eye color I like, the hair I like. And I'm like, well, she's more European. So that's basically what you're saying, is you like the lighter eyes and the more, the deader hair. That's basically what you're saying, asshole. Like, we hear you.
And it's not just him. You have Antoine Jackson, that's like the twin of George Floyd, basketball player, he has said some problematic things, colorist things recently. And it's just like a long list of people who black men who achieve a certain status. And it's like, the black woman is no longer good enough for them. And that's what they're saying. They're like, listen, go ahead and do your trade-in. Okay, do your trade-in. It's okay. But why do you have to do it and then put down the black women? That's where I'm seeing the issue at with the women in the comments, as well as the videos from the bloggers that I've seen made from black women. And before this day, a lot of women have said that about a lot of these black male celebrities. It's like, okay, do your trade-in, date whoever you want, but why do you have to put down anybody to justify whatever? Maybe that's a defense mechanism because they get so much hate in their comment section, because we got to put the lenses on for them too. You know what I'm saying? The lenses still work. They got lenses too, So I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate. But I mean, it's a lot to look at. I feel like it's a lot to discuss. It'll be interesting if you do it again and have like a couple of like black men, a couple black women, and you can even invite in Becky up too. I don't know, just make it real interesting.
I got some Joshes on my friends list. Becky's are gonna be hard to find, but I can find one. I would love to have this dialogue again with some black men, a couple of black men that hit me up, but they were afraid to even touch it. They were like, I am not touching that. So, let's see if we could. I'm sure Dante would have came on, but let's do this again, Lily. I love you to death. You always bring it. So leave us with a last, note on the subject before we bid everyone adieu.
Okay, the last note, I think you already covered it, was the fact that it's all in preference, you all. Like, it's all in preference. We don't know these folks. I mean, leave them be. Like, don't use your energy. Don't give nobody your power. Keep it. Use it for something else. Use it for somebody who may come along that may like you. And I'm really big on manifestation. So manifest what it is that you want. Be who you want to date. Like, be that person, right? Because I do believe everybody ain't qualified to date. Like, there should be some type of questionnaire or something, like, before you are qualified to date. Like, I'm just saying, it should be a qualification. So check the qualifications and see if you are dateable. Are you the person you want to marry? Okay, check. And then put that out in the atmosphere and attract that. I mean, it sounds mumble jumble, it sounds hocus pocus, but it's true. It happened. That's not just with a man, it works with everything, shit.
Right. Very true. Thank you. Any last notes for the people watching on this whole 50 fiasco?
I said what I said. Date people who like you. That's all. Date people who like you. That's it. That's all that matters. Like, there's so many people out there that are willing to love you down, to be worried about somebody you don't have to wake up or go to sleep with. Like, it's so simple.
Okay, and I'll piggyback on Lee. Work on yourself, and then add to that bait fish you can catch, and add to that stop giving people energy. And do some inner work on those things that you're hurt about. If somebody like 50 when he's trolling can affect you. Do some inner work. That's very, very important. We've all been hurt. We all had to, right? So we don't punch people in the face when they mention it.
Yep. I'm serious.
Okay, Lee, I love you. And we will do this again. I'm going to try to get some brave souls to come on because they were scared this go round. But next time.
All right. Nice to meet you, sweetie.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for having me, Jen. I'll see you later.
Definitely. Okay, guys, that was it. Another episode of On the Block with Jen. I hope you learned something today. I hope you came away from it a little bit better than you were, or maybe you got some questions answered. I'd love to have some guys on the panel that aren't afraid to show their faces and tackle these issues. Do not be afraid. We can agree to disagree. I promise you. And that's it. Tune in next time. Y'all already know the business. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and especially YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube page. You can find my YouTube page on my Instagram. It's right in my bio. You already know I got to take care of business. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for participating. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.